We got another one for you. We got another one here. So it's a tale as old as time now, where you have an evangelical preacher who's massively anti-gay, who gets caught being gay. Is the Ted Haggard example is the classic one. He was caught doing crystal meth with a gay hooker, he regularly had preached being against homosexuality. You have Larry Craig, the Republican politician who was caught in a New Jersey Turnpike bathroom trying to get freaky with some other dude. I mean, the list is endless, really. Well, add another one to this list. Texas Republican Representative Brian Slaton, age 45, married and a former youth minister, invited a Capitol intern under 21 years old to his apartment to drink and have sex. Here's my favorite part. Slaton led the Anti-Groomer crusade for Texas Republicans. So you guys are familiar with all this if you've been online at all and you're politically active. The Republicans made the big thing of like, bro, we're against the groomers. That's what we are. So you'd have, right-wing Twitter accounts like Libs of TikTok. They would go after teachers, sometimes because the teacher's just being goofy. They have some pink-haired weirdo who's really awkward and saying questionable things. But other times they would just basically smear LGBTQ teachers and act like they're indoctrinating our children and they're grooming our children. And, it was a big thing online. DeSantis with his various bills regarding the school system in Florida, where, for example, one of the bills is being interpreted that a gay teacher can't even put a picture of them and their spouse on their desk, because that would be, opening up the conversation where kids might be curious and ask, who's that? What's going on? Then you'd have to explain the concept of being gay to the kids. And there's this whole narrative of like, people on the left or LGBTQ people, they are groomers. They're trying to sexually groom kids, and that is unacceptable. Some people are slimy and weaselly with it, and they say groomer, and they just mean like politically groom kids into being on the left. But that's a trick. They're doing a trick. They want to leave the impression with people. Am I talking about political grooming, or am I talking about literal sexual grooming? I'll leave that up to you to determine. So the intent is a smear. Well, the guy who led the anti-groomer crusade was effectively grooming a Capitol intern under the age of 21. Now, I don't know the exact age, so, maybe it was of legal age. The person was of legal age. I certainly hope they were, right? But, how many different layers of hypocrisy? Married while creeping around and doing this and acting like, I'm the most moral and virtuous. Remember that guy Scott Desjardins, Republican politician Scott Desjardins? He had a super pro-life voting record. Meanwhile, he was sleeping around with a number of women, and he had many of them. There were multiple women who he made get an abortion. It's what these people do, man. It's what they do. All right, so here's what they say in the Dallas Morning News. Complaint alleges North Texas lawmaker had sex with a Capitol intern, report says. The Texas Tribune reported that Representative Brian Slaton is accused of having sexual relations with an intern. So this is the guy right here. A Texas Capitol staffer has alleged that State Representative Brian Slaton had sexual relations with an intern about 2 weeks ago, according to the media. The allegations against the Royce City Republican is in a complaint filed by a legislative staffer to the House General Investigating Committee, the Texas Tribune reported Friday. Slaton, 45, has been accused of having an inappropriate relationship with an intern who is under the age of 21. Slaton, who is married, is considered one of the most conservative members of the chamber. Wow, you don't say. Silent sinners scream the loudest. Is that the way the saying goes? I'm not sure if that's the way the saying goes. He has previously filed legislation to make abortion a capital offense. By the way, you dig a little deeper, just maybe you'll find a little something in his past along those lines, and has worked against LGBTQ rights. Slaton's attorney issued a statement earlier this week calling allegations against the lawmaker outrageous and false. So this is now we're in the, They all handle it like Trump now. We're in the Trump era of the way they respond. It's like, what if we just lie brazenly in response to it? Maybe we'll get away with it. The Tribune did not identify the intern, and her attorney did not respond to the outlet's request for comment. Okay, so I guess it was a female by the wording of this, and her attorney did not respond. Yeah, So it was a female. We found the one Republican politician who indeed is not gay, secretly. The Tribune obtained a complaint that alleges Slaton invited the intern to his Austin apartment late on the night of March 31st. They drank alcohol together, and he later asked her not to talk about it, the Tribune reported. A full version of the complaint, first posted on the Quorum Report, alleges they had sex that night. Now, look, just to be clear, my understanding is there's no allegation of rape here. This person was consenting, but after the fact, they were basically blowing the whistle and saying, this guy's married, and this guy was, and I ended up doing X, Y, and Z with him, and, you know, he upholds himself as this moral crusader. Meanwhile, look what he's doing. The House General Investigating Committee is made up of 5 lawmakers who can look into complaints of misconduct, misfeasance, abuse of office, incompetency, and workplace conduct. It met Friday and issued 4 subpoenas, but did not disclose what or whom it was investigating. Representative Andrew Murr, chairman of the committee, previously said on Facebook that it does not comment on investigations. At least 2 House Republicans have called for Slaton's resignation, as has one Democrat. Slaton, a former youth minister, former youth minister, oh goodness, I want to know what skeletons are in that closet, is serving his 2nd term representing Hopkins, Hunt, and Van Zant counties. He attended Ouachita Baptist University, the University of North Texas, and Southwest Baptist Theological Seminary, where he obtained a Master of Divinity degree. Very holy man we're talking about. Very, very holy. So anyway, look, I'm sure you're going to see 412 different right-wing accounts now slamming this guy for being a groomer. For being a massive hypocrite. It was like when Marjorie Taylor Greene, remember this? Marjorie Taylor Greene the other day called Democrats like the party of pedophiles or something like that. And then there was that Midas Touch video people tweeted in response to it, where it lists like a dozen Republicans who were pedos, right? And it's amazing to me. These people will ignore all the evidence that contradicts their point and just hammer away on their narrative, right? And in other words, here's going to be the reaction from the right over this. La, 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 I can't see anything. They're on my team, so I'm just going to bury it. It's truly, truly pathetic. But just know, all the moral preening, right, all the holier-than-thou people, they're almost always the most guilty of this stuff. Almost always. All right, guys, there you have it. I love y'all very much. Thank you, as always, for listening to the show. Everybody do me a favor. Click the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. That's the most important part. If you do anything, if you do one thing, just click that subscribe button for me. Also, click that bell icon so you get a notification every single time a video drops. That's all I got for you, man. Everybody, if you want to listen to the full shows, you could do it, the audio version of the podcast over on Spotify. We try to post it there every time we have a show. So definitely check that out. And of course, if you can, please support the show on Patreon. A couple bucks a month goes a long way. Or support Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video of every show, and it gets it to you a day early. And I think now YouTube has like a tip button. So if you don't want to go through the whole process of, going to Patreon or whatever, just you can tip by clicking the, I think it says thanks on it below. Anyway, all right. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Everybody have a great rest of your day. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.